Arlen's heart pounded like a war drum as he darted through the market square, clutching the parchment that had changed everything. As a humble cartographer, he never expected his life to spiral into adventure. But that all changed the moment he uncovered the map, its lines and glyphs glowing softly, whispering secrets of ages past. It was an ordinary day in Eldoria, or so it seemed, until now. He dodged through a throng of bustling merchants and elven traders whose eyes flickered with curiosity at his hasty retreat. The scroll, tucked safely under his arm, was the key, or so he believed, to the mythical Eldertree. Its awakening was essential to restoring balance to their realm, a prophecy nearly forgotten. Panting, Arlen skidded to a halt before the rickety door of his workshop, his sanctuary amid the city's chaos. Fumbling with the latch, he slipped inside and slammed the door shut, his back pressed against it as if fending off unseen pursuers. "What have you got there, Arlen? Another one of your fanciful legends?" The voice belonged to Callan, a lanky inventor whose cluttered inventions filled half of the small room. His skeptical eyes twinkled with mirth as he wiped soot off his hands. "This is different, Callan," Arlen replied, unrolling the map with reverence. "This map, it's alive somehow. I can feel it guiding me, leading us, perhaps, to the Eldertree." Callan raised an eyebrow, his curiosity piqued despite himself. "The Eldertree? Thought that was just a tale to scare off children at night." "I thought so too, but it speaks to something inside me," Arlen said earnestly. Callan paused, the gears in his inventive mind turning. "So, what do we do?" A shadow crossed the window, a fleeting shape that made Arlen shift uneasily. "We find the others," he said, voice steady with newfound determination. "And we set off before it's too late." Outside, the winds whispered through the ancient groves of Eldoria, carrying secrets of old, echoing the promise of an adventure that awaited beyond the horizon. An adventure sown in camaraderie, conflict, and the dawning realization that they must awaken the Eldertree, or see their world fall into darkness. The moon hung high, a spectral guardian watching over the slumbering city as Arlen and Callan made their way to the tavern at the edge of town. The weathered wooden sign above the door creaked in the chill night breeze, and the faint hum of lively chatter wafted from within. Arlen hesitated. "Are you sure this is the place?" Callan gave a wry smile. "The swift fox is known for harboring those who know more about shadows than light, perfect for finding a certain nimble-fingered friend." Inside, the tavern was awash with warmth and noise. The air was thick with the scent of roasting meats and spiced ale. Arlen's eyes scanned the room, searching for a familiar face amid the crowd of travelers, bards, and curious patrons. "There," Callan nudged Arlen, pointing to a corner where a figure sat alone, nursing a tankard with an air of casual vigilance. Arlen grinned. "Lyra? Perfect." As they approached, Lyra's eyes flicked up, sharp as the daggers she so expertly wielded. Her lips curved into a smirk. "Arlen and his merry band of dreamers. What brings you to this den of villainy?" Arlen leaned closer, his voice low but urgent. "A map, a living map. It leads to the Eldertree." Lyra straightened, intrigue overcoming her usual nonchalance. "The legendary Eldertree? Now there's an adventure worth its weight in gold." "And its risks," Callan interjected. "But we need your skill." Lyra's smile widened, eyes gleaming with mischief. "Always up for a challenge. Count me in." Their pact sealed, the trio left the tavern, the night air biting and crisp. As they ventured through the cobbled streets, Arlen couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, the shadows deeper and more menacing than before. "Someone's been tails on us," Lyra whispered, confirming his suspicions. Her hand hovered near the hilt of her blade. Before Arlen could respond, a figure stepped into their path, clad in dark robes, eyes burning with ambition. "The map," they demanded, with an air of authority that brooked no refusal. Heart thundering, Arlen held his ground. "And who are you to demand it?" The stranger laughed, a sound devoid of humor. "Merely the one who will claim the power that you seek to guard. Hand it over, and no harm will come to you. Refuse, and face the consequences." With resolve hardening like steel in his spine, Arlen glanced at his companions. "We don't give up that easily." Tension crackled in the air as the standoff stretched, the trio ready to defend what was rightfully theirs. Despite the odds, they sensed strength in their unity, an echo of the Eldertree's whispered promise yet to be fulfilled. The world seemed to hold its breath as Arlen, Callan, and Lyra faced off against their mysterious assailant. The stranger's eyes glinted in the dim light, a stark contrast against the inky sky. Around them, the night breathed with hidden life, its shadows watching, waiting. Kalen's fingers twitched as he subtly adjusted the dial on one of his inventions, a handheld device clasped in his palm that buzzed quietly. Its function was nebulous to most, but in that moment, it hummed with latent promise. "Step back," he whispered to Arlen and Lyra, his eyes never leaving the robed figure. In an instant, the device crackled to life, releasing a sudden burst of dazzling light. The alley lit up like the heart of a star, blinding the assailant and leaving them momentarily stunned. Seizing the opportunity, Lyra darted forward with a practiced grace, her movements swift and silent as moonlight. With a deft twist, she relieved their opponent of a small pouch slung across their waist. The stranger cursed, reaching out in futile anger only to find Lyra had already vanished into the protective shadows, the pouch tight in her grasp. "Let's move!" Kalen urged as the three friends bolted, feet pounding against cobblestone as they raced towards the city limits. "Where to now?" Lyra demanded as they cut through the silent streets. Arlen's mind spun, the map's secrets teasing the edge of his consciousness. The forest. It's where the map leads, and we're less likely to be followed. Breathless but determined, they pushed onwards, the city fading behind them like a forgotten nightmare. Dawn began to break, casting tendrils of gold through the trees as they delved deeper into the ancient woods, its aura both welcoming and ominous. Once they felt secure yet concealed by nature's embrace, they paused to catch their breath. Arlen unfolded the map, its lines shimmering in the early light, guiding their eyes to a symbol that pulsed with an otherworldly glow. "What was so important inside that pouch?" Kalen asked, inspecting it curiously. Lyra shrugged, untethering its string with nimble fingers. From within, she extracted a tarnished emblem etched with a spiral insignia, an artifact that resonated with the same energy as the map. "I've seen this symbol before," Arlen murmured, deep in thought. "It's connected to the Eldertree's guardians, but its lore was lost, until now." Realization dawned upon them, their paths interwoven with destiny's threads tighter than ever. They knew that from this moment forward, every step brought them closer to the heart of a mystery that could save or doom Eldoria. Unseen, watching from the forest's edge, shadows slithered back to their master, carrying news of the trespassers and their prize. The chase was far from over. As the morning sun filtered through the canopy overhead, Arlen and his companions ventured deeper into the forest, guided by the living map's ethereal glow. Each step crackled underfoot, the sounds echoing into the ancient hush of the woods. The realm of Eldoria stretched vast and mysterious around them, its history whispered in the rustle of leaves. Kalen fiddled with the newfound emblem, his fingers tracing the intricate spiral etched into its metal. "You think this thing has any real power? Or is it just another old relic?" "Old relics sometimes hold the greatest power," Lyra quipped, scanning the tree line for any signs of pursuit. "What matters more is who understands its secret." Arlen pondered her words, sensing the truth buried within them. The guardians mentioned in legend. This might be a key. We just need to figure out how to use it. As they pressed onward, the forest terrain changed, the earth rising into rolling hills shrouded in mist. Shadows lengthened, twisting into peculiar shapes beneath the reaching boughs, a testament to the forest's sentient presence. Suddenly, the path ended at the edge of a vast chasm, its depths obscured by swirling fog. Spanning it was a narrow bridge woven from vines as if crafted by an artisan of nature herself. A test, perhaps, Arlen mused aloud, feeling the weight of the journey's risks rest heavily upon them. "Or a warning," Lyra replied. Her gaze betrayed a flicker of uncertainty, a rare crack in her armor of resolve. Kalen cocked his head, his curiosity undiminished. "What's the fun without a bit of risk?" With a deep breath, Arlen stepped onto the bridge, the vines swaying slightly beneath his weight. He felt the map vibrate, its pulse syncing with his heartbeat, a rhythm of encouragement. His friends followed suit, their progress slow and cautious. Below them, the fog churned like a restless sea, concealing its depths. Determination lent strength to their will, propelling them forward one careful step at a time. Midway across, a thick fog rolled in with alarming swiftness, swallowing the bridge and those upon it. From the abyss a voice floated up, soft yet commanding, a melody both nostalgic and strange. Who dares walk in the realm of the old? The words sent a shiver down Arlen's spine. He hesitated. Then, with a steadiness born of quiet resolve, he answered, "Seekers of the Eldertree, we come to preserve its magic for all time." Silence reigned, the fog drawing tighter, and then the voice spoke again, filled with an ancient wisdom. "Prove your hearts true, and you shall pass unhindered." Moments stretched into an eternity before the fog abated, revealing the far side of the chasm, a haven of light amidst the forest shadow. Crossing the final stretch, Arlen felt a surge of hope. The bridge, a test of valor, had not only measured their courage, but awakened a deeper bond among them, an unspoken promise to see this quest to its end. A quiet resolve settled over the trio, each step bringing them closer to the heart of the mystery that tugged at the threads of Eldoria's fate. The haven beyond the bridge welcomed them with a serenity that almost felt surreal. Shafts of sunlight danced upon a field of wildflowers, their colors vivid against the sea of green. Birds flitted from tree to tree, their song a melody of quiet joy. "Seems too peaceful," Callan remarked, scanning the idyllic scene with skepticism as they moved forward. The journey thus far had taught them that tranquility often masked the presence of unseen trials. "Agreed," Arlen replied, his eyes lingering on the towering trees surrounding them, each bearing the ancient wisdom of the forest. "The map? It's leading us to something nearby." A short walk through the dappled light brought them to a hidden grove, dominated by a monumental stone structure. Its surface was etched with symbols mirroring those on Arlen's map, pulsing softly with a rhythm that matched his heartbeat. "Whatever this is, it holds the key to our next step," Arlen said, stepping cautiously toward the stone tablet. Lyra moved closer, her thief's keen eyes assessing the markings. "I've seen this language in the histories. It speaks of the Guardians." The mysterious stone slab came to life at her touch, shifting and revealing a recessed compartment. Inside lay a crystalline object, its facets dancing with spectral light. "A guide," Lyra murmured almost to herself as she handed it to Arlen. Arlen held it in his palm, feeling the warmth and energy flowing through him. With a sudden clarity, he realized it was a compass, a mystical guide to the Eldertree's location. "The Guardians intended for you to find this," Callan noted, looking at Arlen with newfound respect. Before Arlen could respond, the grounds beneath their feet quivered with a subtle tremor, a reminder of the precarious balance their presence disturbed. The disturbance rippled through the grove, a tremulous sign of the forest's awakening. "We can't linger," Lyra warned, motioning to the trembling earth. "We've taken what was meant for us. Now we must move on." Their exit from the grove was swift, footsteps light against the knowledge that every moment drawn in idle was a moment lost to the enemy, lurking just beyond sight. As they journeyed on, trust deepened within their ranks, a trust that transcended their differences, binding their strengths. The compass in Arlen's hand felt like more than just a tool. It was a promise, an assurance that the way forward would reveal itself. Somewhere in the depths of a castle in Eldoria, a nobleman learned of the stolen artifact, his lips curling into a familiar smile. Agents, shadows themselves, slipped from the room with commands echoing in their ears. The hunt resumed. Unbeknownst to the friends, each step forward was observed, analyzed, as plans to seize the magic of the Eldertree accelerated. And though the ancient path was fraught with peril, Arlen and his friends were determined to see it through to the end, against all odds. Beneath an expanding canopy of verdant leaves, Arlen and his companions pressed on, navigating the heart of the forest with caution and curiosity. Each mile brought them closer to the whispered magic of the Eldertree, its unseen presence guiding them. The compass glowed with soft luminescence, pulsating in his hands, leading the way through paths both winding and wild. The forest felt alive, watching them with eyes unseen yet deeply sensed. "Do you hear that?" Lyra halted, her senses attuned to the forest's whispers, a music, faint yet persistent, carried by the caress of the breeze. "It's beautiful," Arlen said, finding comfort in the symphony that resonated in perfect harmony with the pulse of the compass. "It's calling us," Callan mused, adjusting a curious contraption perched on his shoulder, an invention to capture ambient sound waves for later study. Prompted by the melody, they descended deeper into a valley, each step echoing the song's invitation. Their path opened to a sight both wondrous and intimidating, a serene lake, its waters as still as midnight, reflecting the skies and seams with stars. At its center stood an island, its foliage vibrant against the water's dark embrace. The melody emanated from the isle, a siren's song knitting itself into the forest's soul. "A ferry," Lyra announced, pointing to a weathered boat tied at the lake's edge, its presence both unexpected and convenient. Without discussing the risks, the trio climbed in, paddling across with minimal splashing that seemed drawn into reverent silence by the lake itself. Reaching the island, they disembarked onto its mossy bank, welcomed by a gentle breeze that rustled leaves wishfully. At its heart stood an ancient archway entwined with vines, the portal to their awaited sanctuary. "This is it," Arlen breathed, the compass guiding his eyes toward the arch's keystone engraved with the same spiral symbol from before. Callan touched the stone with a reverent hand. "I can feel its energy, a gateway. We need only unlock it." Together they stepped through the arch and into a realm beyond sight, a place not entirely of the forest or any known reality. The world shimmered into being, revealing a gentle meadow bathed in ethereal light, and at its center, the Eldertree. Magnificent and imposing, its branches stretched skyward, ancient yet vibrant, a beacon blazing with the essence of life and time itself. Just then, a ripple in the air announced their pursuers' arrival, the noblemen's shadows emerging from between worlds, their presence stark against the meadow's peace. "We've found them," one hissed, eyes shining with the ambition burning brightly as their master's command. In the face of encroaching danger, Arlen's resolve crystallized. Here, in the heart of their quest, the struggle reached its crescendo. Strengthened by the unity and the truths revealed within themselves, Arlen and his companions prepared to defend the Eldertree, standing resolute against the tide of darkness that threatened to consume all they held dear. With their hearts beating in sync with the Eldertree's ancient rhythm, Arlen, Lyra, and Callan found themselves face to face with those who hunted them, agents of a nobleman who would misuse the Eldertree's magic. Cold eyes locked onto their prize, the shadows menaced with poised intent. Lyra's hand hovered above her dagger, muscles coiled like springs, ready to unleash swift justice. "Looks like we're not the only ones who received an invitation to this party," she muttered, her voice a steel ribbon of defiance. Arlen nodded, feeling the weight of destiny upon his shoulders. "We can't let them near the Eldertree. Its magic must remain untainted." Callan adjusted a series of dials on his mechanical device, the faint hum an outlet of his concentration. "I've got something for situations just like this, if you'll keep them busy," he announced with a mischievous grin. The tension in the meadow was palpable, the peace of the ethereal realm replaced by charged anticipation. As the shadows advanced, Lyra moved with feline agility, meeting the first adversary with a flurry of movements too swift for the eye, an artist sculpting from chaos. Arlen moved to support her, using the terrain to their advantage, guiding the shadows away from the tree. The compass, still nestled in his pocket, buzzed, a whisper of comfort and direction. Amidst the struggle, Callan freed an orb from his pack, whispering an incantation into its heart. With a dramatic flourish, he released it, light spilling from the orb's surface, cascading in waves that rippled through the meadow. The light enveloped friend and foe alike, spirals of illumination wrapping their senses as the orb's magic sang clear and pure. The shadows recoiled, eyes squinting against the brilliance, their resolve momentarily unbalanced. "Go, Callan!" Arlen shouted above the din, weaving through the tumult to give his friend space. The inventor's plan had temporarily turned the tide. The agents regrouped, their desperation palpable as their master's ambition fueled their resolve. Yet the light had done more than merely blind them. It cast fleeting doubt into their hearts, widening unseen fractures in their determination. Callan stood firm, his device on pulse as his heart whispered thanks to the Guardians, unseen yet felt in every glowing pulse that vibrated through the meadow. A lull in the chaos cradled the heroes, time ceasing in a breath held by hope and determination. Casting a unified gaze toward the tree, they drew strength from its silent promise, a world in balance through unity, not conquest. As dawn brightened the horizon, the Eldertree's majesty renewed their vigor. And though the darkness poised to strike once more, it was clear that they were not alone. Behind the veil of worlds, a forgotten force roused from slumber, summoned by the courage of three destinies intertwined. Together, Lyra and Callan stood at the precipice of revelation, ready to harness the magic of the Eldertree to protect their world from the insidious grasp of greed. Their fight, their cause, a beacon of hope in a time of shadows. The Eldertree loomed above, its branches whispering ancient secrets as Arlen, Lyra, and Callan surveyed the battlefield turned sanctuary. The light from Callan's orb still shimmered in the air, the echoes of its magic weaving a protective barrier around them. "We need a plan," Lyra panted, her breath catching in the cool air as she assessed the regrouping shadows on the horizon. "They'll be back, and likely with more." Arlen nodded, tracing the pulsing lines on the map still tucked safely in his pocket. "The Eldertree, it holds the key. If we can unlock its full power, we may be able to protect the magic for good. Or awaken something greater," Callan added, his eyes alight with an adventurer's zeal as he consulted the relic they'd acquired. "This emblem, perhaps it wasn't just a map marker, maybe it's the key itself." The three formed a circle beneath the tree's grandeur, a sacred space untouched by doubt. The relic's symbol seemed to vibrate in resonance with the Eldertree, sparking a connection unseen. Lyra placed the emblem atop a stone at the tree's base, its intricate pattern aligning perfectly with an engraved groove, hidden for ages, now unlocked through determination and unity. The world paused as the connection ignited, a cascade of light flowing from the Eldertree into the relic, casting the meadow in spectral hues. Energy surged through the ground, vibrant and electric, knitting a tapestry of protective wards across the land. Paralyzed by the sight, the agents hesitated, caught amid a web of awe and trepidation. The growing power coming from the Eldertree was unlike anything written in their master's directives. "Look," interjected Callan, pointing as ethereal figures began to coalesce, guardians of Eldoria summoned by the ritual, their forms shimmering with the fire of ancient legends. "I've read about them," Lyra whispered, awe replacing her breath with reverence. "Champions of the past, protectors of the Eldertree's magic." The spectral guardians, with their translucent forms, formed a barrier between the trio and the encroaching shadows. Their presence alone amplified the ambient magic thrumming through the Eldertree's roots. Breathless with the unfolding events, Arlen stepped forward, the warmth in his heart echoing the Eldertree's vibrant core. "Guardians, we seek to preserve what you once protected. Lend us your strength." The figures nodded, understanding and acceptance passing across unseen lines of time and intention. Their light combined with that of the Eldertree, emanating a force that pulsed outward like the heartbeat of the world. Those forces aligned in protective harmony. Even the most determined amongst their assailants fell back, their determination eroded by the undeniable truth. The magic of the Eldertree was a power shared and protected, not controlled. In this decisive moment, across the plane of existence, Arlen, Lyra, and Callan found their place among the champions of old, fortifying the promise of balance against a history of greed, their unity proving strongest where ambition alone faltered. The flight of the shadows marked a retreat's commencement, and even as they fled into their master's folds, the heroes knew this was not the end. A temporary reprieve secured in victory, a harbinger of battles still to dawn. The echoes of retreating footsteps faded into the cold dusk, leaving Arlen, Lyra, and Callan enveloped in the sacred silence beneath the Eldertree. The spectral guardians hovered nearby, their presence a comforting reminder of their victory and the path of responsibility that stretched ahead. Arlen studied the ancient tree, its roots deep in the earth, binding together the elements of life and magic. The compass nestled against his chest, its rhythmic pulse now calm, synchronized with the Eldertree's eternal beat. "We did it," Lyra murmured, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the guardians as they returned to the ether. "For now." Callan adjusted his goggles, releasing a nervous chuckle laden with relief and lingering tension. "For now indeed, but we've put the nobleman on notice." "Notice or no, he won't give up easily," Arlen noted, the reality stark against the fading backdrop of conflict. "We've only paused his plans, not defeated them." The Eldertree's branches rustled, a gentle breeze caressing them with promises whispered in the forest's ancient tongue. The guardians might have withdrawn, but their presence lingered, a woven safety net against those who would do harm. "The magic here is alive like in no other place," Callan remarked, his inventor's mind racing through possibilities and potentials. If we can protect it, we safeguard Eldoria itself. As if to confirm this, the compass in Arlen's pocket glowed brighter, its warmth spreading through him, filling the space with warmth and hope. The relic, too, shimmered, promising guidance as they navigated challenging paths yet untraveled. "We can't stay here forever," Lyra warned, practical and pragmatic even amidst triumph. She turned, eyes searching the horizon. "The nobleman's forces will regroup, stronger and bolder next time." Arlen nodded, understanding the weight upon them, an unspoken vow forged not just for their time, but for the ages. Protecting the Eldertree wasn't merely about thwarting a single antagonist. It was about ensuring a future in balance. "It's time to return to the city, gather allies," Arlen affirmed, his voice steady with conviction. "We must unite Eldoria, let its people know of the magic they must cherish and defend." Lyra's grin sparkled with opportunity. "Looks like we'll need to recruit those who'd rather not be in the noble's pocket. That'll be a challenge worth its weight in gold." "Then it's settled," Callan added, packing his gear with a newfound urgency. "We share what we've learned, what we've witnessed, and stand ready for when the shadows return." Together, they exited the meadow by the Eldertree, the landscape transforming as if welcoming hosts and sentinels alike, a unified defense against darkness, cloaked now by the profound stillness of evening. Though the nobleman lingered in the shadows, plotting his return, Arlen and his companions embraced the dawn of a new chapter, their resolve echoing through time, an anthem of unity and thwarted greed. As night embraced Eldoria, the dynamic trio began their journey to rally a realm, hopeful in the knowledge that the Eldertree's whisper would guide them forward into the trials of tomorrow. Months passed since the awakening at the Eldertree, the memory carried like an ember through the chilling winds of Eldoria's shifting seasons. Arlen, Lyra, and Callan, heralded not just as adventurers, but as beacons of hope, journeyed tirelessly through the kingdom, weaving their tale into the fabric of its cities and villages. Their message, simple but profound, stirred the hearts of those they encountered. The magic of Eldoria, embodied by the Eldertree, was a treasure bound to the destiny of all, more powerful when shared in unity than when hoarded by a single ruler. The compass, a gift from the Guardians, continued to guide Arlen, not to destinations upon a map, but toward people who yearned for change and could join their cause. It pulsed now as he stood on the steps of the Royal Council Hall, beneath a sky painted with the hues of dawn. Inside the council, a gathering of dignitaries, scholars, and leaders convened at the behest of King Eldrin, whose vision, now aligned with the soul of the realm itself, awaited their news. "Thank you for receiving us," Arlen began, his voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "We come not only with news of the Eldertree, but with proof of Eldoria's need for union against the darkness threatening to consume us." Callan stepped forward, his hands presenting the emblem alongside Arlen's words. "This is what nearly cost us the magic, a piece of the past meant to safeguard our future. With your help, we can protect it." Lyra added, her words resonating like a melody across strings. "And unite the kingdom against those who'd use this magic for their own gain. Imagine a future where Eldoria thrives, because its people stand free to choose it." Their resolve found kinship amongst the council, discussions erupting into lively debates, carrying the weight of years lost to greed and fragmentation. At the heart of it all was King Eldrin, whose eyes shone with the light of reaffirmed hope. "The nobleman's ambitions threaten all of us," he declared, standing tall and resolute. "The Eldertree is not just the source of magic, it is the heart of Eldoria itself. Let us swear to protect it together as one realm." The hall filled with the sound of agreements, new alliances forged through shared purpose. Together, they conceived a council dedicated to safeguarding the Eldertree's secrets, a lighthouse among the storms to come. As hope spread through Eldoria, an invisible web drawn from intention and promise, the agents of the nobleman fell to the wayside, met with resistance wherever they turned. The nobleman, now a shadow amidst his diminishing power, gazed inward to the reflection of his own ambition's downfall. Back under the canopy of the Eldertree, Arlen, Lyra, and Callan returned to the balcony of their dreams realized. The forest, a guardian of secrets, sang in its gentle melody with them, binding the past to a hopeful future. "So, what next?" Lyra asked, a smile playing on her lips as she traced the familiar spiral on the emblem. Arlen breathed in the fresh scent of Destiny's dawn. "Now we watch over Eldoria, help it grow rich in unity, not just in magic." Kalen chuckled, eyes twinkling with invention yet to be crafted. "And keep an eye out for the next adventure, old relics and all." Together they turned to gaze at the horizon where the morning sun kissed the earth. The Eldertree stood emblematic, astride time's gentle flow. Thus, under Eldoria's vast sky, a realm once fragmented and fraught with shadow found its heartbeat anew, not in conquest, but in unity and shared purpose, whispering into the winds of tomorrow.